Welcome everyone to the Zoom tonight, and we are excited to share with you some of the things we learned at convention and just to pass on to you tips to get started. I don't know if any of you that were back home and not at convention just felt like the wealth of information coming at us and new products. And it was like Mary June mentioned earlier today, she never once felt bored in a general session. And that's kind of a big deal because I can, my mind can wander or whatever, but no, it was like every single minute was packed and we just were sitting there and taking it in and never bored. So we are looking forward to sharing with you. So I'm Shelly Nisley, and these are just a few of the people that were at convention. So grateful for every single person who went, and put it on your calendar for next year. It's usually around the beginning of June. And we just know that it'll be so worth it for you to get there. So without further ado, we are going to go over just a few of the things that, just like the list of things that came at us. And sorry, I forgot to pull up my list here again that I have here. So it started out, hang on one second. Got further back in my list than I thought. Ooh. Okay. I know it's right. Here we go. Okay. So first of all, we had the incredible introduction to Vital Biome, and we I think the stage got prepped for us earlier in the month when the microbiome was talked about so much with, adding things into the slim that will increase the microbiome in our gut. So Vital Biome is amazing. So I'm not going to talk about these products, but this is how the things were rolled out to us. Vital Biome, Cindy Latham, she's the amazing woman behind a lot of these things happening at Plexus. And a lot of us are crunchy, and like our team in, with Kristen and Lori, a lot of you know them. Our team kind of has a name for being crunchy, but Cindy Latham is crunchier than all of us. So that's really exciting because it's like someone said, I would be proud to wear a shirt that said Cindy Latham, and I totally said, oh, I should get one made. She's like a hero right now. So it was the Vital Biome, and then the X Factor Plus, which again, just some testimonies already coming from that, from people who were testing it out the last couple of months. And then we got into more of the tools available to us. So it was the Rank Up Roadmap, the new back office, which is coming. And I didn't even take screenshots of that. I was just sitting there like gasping at what is to come. So if you can just imagine the best website you've ever seen, like Anthropology type, / Amazon convenience subscription type of thing. Just the best websites for us and our Plexus customers and us in the back office. It's so amazing. And then Lexi, virtual assistant, and we're gonna learn more about her in the days to come. New recognition gifts, new consistency club. There's gonna be, instead of just 300 and 500, there's now going to be, is it 700 or 750?
700.
And new gifts for that, so that's really fun. Plexus in Motion magazine, which is just a tool, right here, oh here. So pretty cool, kind of correlates with the Rank Up Roadmap, like some places, some spots to jot down notes, and with testimonies and things from other diamonds and how they built their business. So that's pretty cool. I don't quite see how all this, like how everything totally works together, but like everything is starting to mesh more. So like the Rank Up roadmap and the In Motion magazine and some of the things in the Lexi app, like they can really work together well. The new Aspire self-development program. One thing that really stood out to me this time is, it's not just one thing that makes you successful in business, it's a number of things. One is, doing your regular IPA. Yes, super important. You're not going to get anywhere without that. But the other thing is sometimes we just need self-development. We come to a place, and you'll come to it over and over again. Like sometimes you think, okay, I really learned my lessons here in this area, and I'm cruising along. And then you come up against something else, and you have a choice. Am I going to work through this and become a better person, better myself, or am I going to stop right here? And, you see that happen. You see people push through. You see people come to a dead stop forever or just for a time. So it's really, I still come up against those times. I'm like, okay, this is a time to grow. So the development program is something you can find in your back office. Does someone remember what it was called? Like the library, the name is escaping me right now, but it's the tools that have been there all along, but now the Aspire program they put together is going to help us use those tools kind of step by step. So, and then beyond that was the announcement about Leaders Retreat and all of that coming up. So that's kind of a really quick overview of the products and the tools that just made up an amazing convention with all the other things thrown in. So we are going to go to our first, Amy, let's have you go first, Amy Weldon, and she's going to share a little bit about her impressions of convention and some things that happened there.
Yeah, so really cool stuff. This is my second convention, and I joined pretty much exactly 2 years ago last month. So it's been an incredible journey so far. I think one of the very first things that my sponsor, Mary June, told me when I joined was go to events. Leaders are born at events. And it's something that I cannot stress more. I think that was probably one of the best pieces of advice she gave me, because it's absolutely true. When you go to places like convention and Leaders Retreat, you are rubbing shoulders with true leaders, and your belief in yourself grows, and your belief in the company and the products grows. And when that is happening, then you will be successful, because you're not going to quit when something is going to be working for you. So I think that, for pretty much almost, I would say everybody who came, there was a sacrifice involved, whether you left some of your kids at home, all of your kids, your husband, your work, you had to spend money to get there. It was time, it was money, it was a sacrifice. And it was not necessarily an easy sacrifice for us personally, but the excuses, I was just thinking about this, I think when you have legitimate reasons, and there are definitely legitimate reasons when you cannot make an event like this. And I think we all know what those kinds of things are if you're, bedridden or whatever. Very special events that you can't miss, things like that. But most times, if it's not that, it's usually going to be an excuse. And I think an excuse would be something that would be just too hard. If something's too hard, it becomes an excuse. And that can go for any type of thing, whether it's a convention or an event of some sort. Hold on. Go out. One more minute. Sorry. I have a little baby here who needs me. So anyway, hold on, guys. I'll be 1 minute. So anyway, that is one thing. And I think the other really neat thing that happened during convention was the belief that for my husband grew exponentially. And that was super exciting to see, because, it's something that he's totally supported me, and but having him there and having him experience it with me, having him just hear the stories, just huge. So I think that if you can take that advice and run with it, you will be successful. Get to events. There's only 4 corporate events a year to get to. That's not a huge amount of events. Get on Zooms. Do things. If you don't have an event in your area, make one. So those are my biggest bits of advice. And I would also say my takeaway action steps for you would be to participate in Power Half Hours with your team. don't wait for somebody to make them up. Make them yourself. If you're itching, if nobody has a time that works for you, make your own. Really step in and be a leader, and people follow leaders, you know. So that's really exciting, and I love all the new tools that we're getting, and I'm just starting to learn. The Rank Up roadmap is incredible. Look at it, follow it, even if you're, you know, at the top, start at silver and go your way up. It's incredible. It's super, super. These tools that we have is they love us and they value us, and it shows. So you're still muted. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And your baby needs you, I think. Yeah, thank you so much, Amy. Okay. Losing my list here. Okay, so next up we're going to have, and just go one right after the other, we have Caitlin Bender and Renee Wallace, and Linda is on as well, Linda Chamberlain. So you guys just give a quick 1 or 2 minute, some of the things we talked about earlier today, your impressions, what your husbands were impressed with, how good it was to get to convention, even with some of the sacrifice involved.
All right. Well, yes, for me, this was a first time convention. So, wow. Just being there, rubbing shoulders with thousands of other people who are wanting to learn, who are there because they want to grow as a person, grow their businesses, was incredible, just incredible. And I would say, like, for me, I had a lot of belief already in the products and in the business, like in the company, but I think my belief was doubled, if that's possible. And that was really the theme. It was of the convention was believe. And we talked about those things. You believe in the products and in the opportunity and the company, but you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then you're not going to grow. I mean, you have to, it's so much of it is personal development is what really stood out to me, and being your own rock star, not waiting on other people, being an example and leading. And so I also, I have to say for us, like my husband, he went with me, and it was sort of a hard decision because it was a sacrifice. We knew that if he went as well, he would be missing work. He might be missing a lot of calls coming in. He has his own business, so if he's not here to do it, then the work doesn't get done. He doesn't get the job. But we decided, no, it was worth it. We were going to go. We were going to do it. And I'm so glad. I mean, he's always supported me in this, and he knows Plexus is a great thing. But his belief was doubled as well. And now, I mean, I would say we're both just as excited as the other one, which is so much fun. We're doing this together. We're both very excited and passionate about it because we see the value in it. Just being there and seeing, again, the integrity of the company, the growth. Guys, Plexus is not just some little health and wellness company. It is going places. And these products, I don't really have words. They're amazing. So I guess I would just say, too, kind of like Amy, if you need to get there. I understand, too, that there sometimes are reasons that prevent that. But for the most part, getting to events are so true. My husband today, too, just told me, he's like, the saying that leaders are born at events really are true. Like, I didn't really understand what that meant until after being there. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, he's a very green personality. So that means, like, he's more introverted. He likes all the facts, all the details. And so for him, guys, he got a Facebook the other day. Huge deal for him because, for him, that was a big step. My point being, he is really excited too. And so, again, just get to events. And also, I was thinking along the same lines as Amy again about a tip. And that would be whatever you decide to do to be consistent with it. I love the power hours. I mean, whether it's 15 minutes, an hour, or 5 hours, as long as you're being consistent with it and, just keep going. Don't give up when you hit hard times. And so that's kind of what I had, my takeaway. And yeah, I'm pumped.
Awesome. Thank you.
For me, I guess I really loved what Les Brown said about a lot of you couldn't afford to be here, but you also couldn't afford not to be here. And I really felt like that was very true because it was a huge sacrifice for our family. I mean, I know you all know you have the expense of the hotel, the airfare, food, all that. And even, so just the financial part that is a huge sacrifice. even too, like arranging childcare and stuff. You know, we have 8 kids at home, and my husband was able to get off 2 nights of work to, you know, for me to go. But he had to work 2 nights. And so it was a sacrifice, even juggling, hey, can I get my 2 grown kids that are out of the home to help with the 8 other ones, you know, when my husband had to work. So it was really, I mean, the whole way around, it was a sacrifice. But I knew the value in it. I knew the value in it because I can't ever expect my team to do something that I'm not going to do. And so they lead, you know, you lead by example. And if I needed to show them how important it was. And that also made me think about another thing Les Brown said that I thought was important is basically the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. And so I just want my team, you know, I need to lead by example was a huge thing I took away from it. So.
So good.
Hi, everybody. My turn. I'm Linda Chamberlain. I'm a Silver Ambassador under Mary June Miller. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my notes that I have from the Silver session, the Silver training session. It was amazing. It was Melissa Eichenhorst, Jennifer Leith, and Tamara Holloway. Amazing, amazing ladies. Jennifer Leith talked about brands, and that really left an impression on me. I'm just going to read you a few things I wrote down. Your brand is the impression you leave on people, and everything you do, everything you post makes a stamp on people, either for a negative or positive. Also, she talked about a lot of people don't think they have a story that's worth sharing, or they don't think they're worthy of a brand. And that just really got to me, and I was like, wow, that's me, and you're right, I am worthy of a brand. She also recommended like a headshot even. It sounds really crazy at first, but she just said it's a way to say I love myself to the world. It's a way to say I'm courageous. It's a way to say I am fearfully and wonderfully made to anyone who's viewing your profile. She said draw people into inspiration. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath from running to my car. Yeah, so our brand has to be something that makes people feel included. And I just really loved that. So then Melissa, this is my words. Yes, leaders are made at events. But if you're, you know, feeling sad you didn't get to go or bummed out that you missed, the fact that I went to convention is not a guarantee for my success. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to be successful now because I went. It's our authenticity, our attitude, our alignment, and our impression that will make us into leaders and will make us successful. So there's no, you guys still have a chance, you know, like you can plug into the team. You can plug into the team pages. You can use what the leaders are doing this month or for the Silver and 7 and all the things that you can plug into. So, you know, you didn't miss your chance. Everyone has the same amount of time in a day as the diamonds and the same tools. So that's some of the things I took away.
I love that last part that you still have a chance, because I should have been at 4 conventions now, but the first was a brother's wedding and the second was a 3-day-old baby. So I've only been to 2 actually. So it is true. Just because you were there doesn't make you totally successful, and just because you weren't there doesn't hold you back from success if you, plug in. So that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, next we have Michael, and I forget what you said you were going to say. But I know it's good. Except I
was just going to talk about Vegas, because I was not excited about going to Vegas at all. I'll be honest. Like, I've been twice before, and I left with like you know, I was not excited when I heard our convention was there, because we all know what Vegas is known for, Sin City and all this stuff. And so I just want to say that what we take away from something, first of all, is all about perspective. But secondly, I'm in love with Vegas now. Like, I have warm fuzzies and I can't wait to go back. And the whole reason is because, don't you all know that light shines the brightest in the dark, right? So where better to converge upon a city with 13,000 positive, Christ-honoring, uplifting, motivated people than in a city that's known for darkness. I just think like, wow, so exciting. I can't wait to go back. And there's nothing like it, nothing like being surrounded by all of these folks who, I mean, I love our company. I know you don't have to be, you know, a Christian to be a part of our company, but the fact that I think almost everybody got up, our ambassadors getting up and giving their testimonies and saying, Jesus Christ is the rock on which I stand, and I give all praise and glory to my Savior. Like, that's awesome. Here we are in Vegas praising the name of Jesus on a stage in front of all of these people. So incredible. So don't let your own perspective on things cloud other things, and realize like we are supposed to be that light, that city on a hill that's shining the light for Jesus. And just don't forget that, how powerful that is. We shine brightest in the darkness. So love Vegas now, have warm fuzzies. Can't wait to go back next year. Super exciting to praise Jesus there with 13,000 people. I think my one big takeaway was about branding as well. And I'll be honest, like I hear people talk about branding and network marketing when you hear, I mean, everybody does training on branding. And I don't think it really sunk into me. I was like, branding, what does that mean? Like, I know it's the impression we leave on people, but I need practical steps, right? So I love the practical steps of what are the 4 to 5 things that you are passionate about, that you love. That is your brand. Be sharing about those 4 to 5 things. And Plexus can be one of those, but it should be just one of those. They shouldn't just hear Plexus. Your brand is you. It's what you love. It's what gets you up in the morning with a smile on your face, right? So your Facebook post should show those things. And man, I have a long way to go. So I'm just saying, like, it's finally, I think, kind of sinking into me in these last couple weeks, and they touched on it in convention. 4 to 5 things that you are passionate about and you are sharing about regularly. So I love practical steps, and that's practical to me. The other thing I would say on sacrifice to get to convention is, boy, we don't value what cost us nothing, right? That's our human nature. The sacrifice that we make to get somewhere makes it just that more precious to us, and we just soak it in. So sacrifice for this business. If you want to grow, make some sacrifice, make it cost you something, and you will learn that much more from it. So that's it. You're still muted.
Okay. Clarita and Mary June, you can take it away, talk a little bit, and wrap it up.
Go ahead, Clarita.
Right. I feel like there's hardly anything left to say because you all said it so good. And I just love hearing from the different people, the first timers, people who have been there before. And I just feel like everybody's perspective gives such a rich overview of the convention, and I just love what y'all said. And I was there, but I love just hearing the recap, and it made me excited all over again. And we have such an amazing company, you guys. Like, weren't you there sitting there being like, I am so lucky to be part of this? Like, the opportunity is amazing, the products are cutting edge. But for me, I know my first event that I went to was with Shelly, my sponsor, and I had been convinced of the products before then, but had never been at a Plexus event. And it was really a big deal to me, like what I represent and like who I stand behind. And up until then, I wasn't going to be part of any company. I wasn't going to promote Plexus because I wasn't going to promote a company that I didn't know anything about. And my first event that I went to wasn't a convention, it was another event, but I went there and I was blown away by the company. Like, I had been so convinced by the products before then, but when I saw the company, I remember I went home and I told my husband, I was like, this isn't just a little like basement company, like this is a for real legitimate business, and I wanted to be part of it. And I think like when you go to an event and you see like the heartbeat of the company, the way God is so honored, like maybe it's not a Christian company per se, but when you see the heartbeat of the people, like Michael said, how God is honored, and not just God, but Jesus Christ, and the way he's so honored. Like, I am so grateful to be part of this company, and my belief continues to grow. And this was my first year there as an emerald. And so my experience with that was just so exciting. Like, I kept thinking, like, I cannot believe I'm here as an emerald. I can't believe I'm an emerald. Like, it was so much fun. But I thought to myself the whole time too, I was like, next year there are going to be so many more emeralds. Like, and I was so excited about that, because I think for me to reach this point for myself gives me so much more belief even for other people, because it's hard work. Like, to get to emerald was hard work, and it's not, like, I'm not kidding. Like, and I know you guys, you're working hard. And sometimes I was telling my team, when we went out for lunch one day, I said, like, I remember like sitting at these different ranks and thinking, like, am I ever gonna reach it? Like, is it ever gonna happen? Like, I'm working so hard. I'm not sure what else to do to work harder. Like, am I gonna reach it? And I sometimes wondered if I would, but I was like, you know what? Sonia Dudley told me one time, she said, trust the process. Like, this is a business for people who stick with it. It's not for people who want a quick, little high. It's for people who stick with it, who develop the leadership and the emotional maturity. And she said, it's going to happen. So believe it and stick with it. And that was just exactly what I needed to hear. So there I was as an emerald, but so excited for so many more people who are going to reach it. Like, I just am so excited for you guys, because I know I'm not going to be the only emerald on Shelly's team. And so we've got more coming on. Mary June's so close. And it's just so fun for me to be part of, like, the sidelines and the teams and just the whole culture right here that Shelly has created on her team is just so incredible. So I don't know. I just came away like overflowing, grateful to be part of it. I feel like I'm the kind of person who sits there. I can't take a lot of notes, but I just sort of have to like sit there and let it soak in. And then over the next couple weeks, it sort of like trickles out like a little at a time what I, because it was so much. It was so rich. So, yeah, that's what I've got. Mary June, I'll let you finish it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know where to start and stop either. And so much of what you guys have shared already is what I have been feeling. One thing that it has just been bubbling up in me ever since is gratitude. And I know the convention kind of tagline was believe, but I just wanted to say back to the leaders of the company that when they give us so much to believe in, it's just like, we're just so grateful. Like, it's easier to believe in a company and a product when the products work and the company has so much integrity. And they were also talking about belief in ourselves, which that, for me, that is an area to work on. But I love what Jen Hawkins said, and I think she said it on stage there, but I know she said it since, but that's gratitude is a magnet for miracles. And I really, really feel that. Like, I believe that when we have gratitude in our hearts, first of all, when we wake up for just breath in our lungs, that like miracles will happen, because gratitude comes from being God's, really. And belief, I think, can happen when we have gratitude. We can believe things that we maybe wouldn't have an easy time believing if we have gratitude. So it was about belief. Carrie Wilkerson, the Barefoot CEO, was one of our guest speakers. And I like, my handwriting is horrible because I was trying to scribble as fast as I could. I love what she said, that our belief becomes our truth, even if the belief is false, and how dangerous that can be if we do have false beliefs in either ourselves or in whatever it is. They become our truths. They can be beliefs about ourselves, beliefs about other people, or beliefs about an opportunity. So think through that. Like, what are you believing that might have become truth to you, but that is not true? she also said, excuses are beliefs that nobody believes but you. And like that, literally, when she said it, I kind of sat back in my seat. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I can say my excuse all day long, but really, I'm the only one that I'm fooling. I'm the only one that believes that excuse. So that's all that excuses are, is just beliefs that we believe. And that's excuses about anything. You know, oh, I don't know how to approach somebody, or it's too scary. And along those lines, in our senior Ruby and Ruby breakaway, we had Celeste Gwynn, and she said 2 things that she loves to tell people when they're first starting and they're nervous. She was like, do it scared, and then after you do it, ask yourself, did I die? So probably you didn't die. So do it scared, and then did you die? I love that. She's so no nonsense, and we just roared when she was talking, but that was fun. Some questions that Ame Darling put, I thought this was something that would be great to share. Some questions that Ame Darling gave us to ask to people that we may have reached out to or maybe sent a sample to. I think she was talking about people that have tried the products. One question to ask is, what did you love about the sample? So instead of saying, you know, how did you like it or whatever, start with something positive. What did you love about the sample? Because it gets their wheels like really turning. Oh, you know what? There's something to love about it. Another thing was, what impressed you most about how you felt or about the sample? I love that one. And then if they say now's not the time, always asking, who do you know who you feel could be benefited from the product? So always asking for referrals. I thought those were great reminders, and I wrote them down just so I can have them. And then another one that I loved, another guest speaker was Kendra Hall, and all of you that were at the Super Saturdays would have gotten like a little blurb from her, so we got to hear from her, and she's such a great storyteller. Like, I sat there again, it was one of those times where I was not 1 minute bored during her talk, and one thing that she said was, when you're saying your story, be sure to say your story and not just allude to it. Because when you really say your story, even the vulnerable parts, that's what people are going to connect to. And if you just allude to your story and kind of make them think, you know, try to figure out what you're saying, it just leaves too much for them to wonder about. So I loved that. Another thing she said is, tell your story, but only when your story is ready. And I had to think, I don't know if Trisha's on here or not, but Trisha, you've been very vulnerable in some of your posts, even since the baby's here, you know, where you're like, this is not how I wanted my story to go. And I think sometimes when we know our stories are going to be what might sell product, we kind of do want our stories to be a certain way, but just to believe in the process and believe that your story is going to touch people, and then to tell it when it's ready. Like, tell your story when it's ready, and know why you're telling your story, like what it is that you're trying to portray. So those were just like, again, I could go on and on about what we learned. The tools, we already touched on that, the tools that are coming, the tools that we have. I'm excited, I'm learning, I don't even know, I can't wait for us to learn more about like Lexi, and even learn more about the products. I feel like, again, the products that they're giving us, the way that helps our belief, what we have to move forward. I really believe that we are sitting on a rocket ship that's just ready to take off. If that's my business, if that's Plexus as a whole. So just to be a part of it at this point is, I think, so extremely exciting. This was by far my favorite convention. This was my 3rd one, and hands down, my favorite one. People I got to spend time with, the way the company did things. I love what Amber said. She said she sat there, and during some of the sessions, she was like, they've gone to like really cool, like where my teenagers think it would be cool. They're really, really give up their branding and their cool factor. You walked into the MGM and they had like the mirrors, had the fun colors on them. The windows were all done with their graphics. Like everything was so well thought out. For us, like it just felt like this big present they were giving us. So you've heard it from the rest, and I'm just gonna say it again. You're not gonna regret getting to events. You'll never regret it. And getting there is definitely something you won't forget either. Like, I think you'll remember every single event you'll go to, something you learn, something you take away, the people you get to spend time with. So that's kind of my little piece there. Oh, action. Sorry, I didn't go through the action. For me, I feel like because of what May looked like with all the samples we gave out, all of the excitement we built about the new Slim, this month I'm having so much fun getting back in touch with people. And it's actually one of the first times in my business that I've had people come to me first, like when they're trying the samples and they get back to me and they're like, oh, I've had white lines say, I'm gonna order this stuff again. So just Eva Schmidt told us, reminded us to just be back in touch with anybody you have ever talked about or talked to about the products. Like, use this as an opportunity to not miss anybody. Go all the way back and just touch everybody again. They're gonna love you for it. They're gonna thank you for it. And you are not going to be a bother by doing that, because these products, we literally can now say we are the gut health company. We have, I think we're 3 to 5 years ahead in almost everything. And we're just, you know, if we don't tell them, somebody else is going to tell them. I'm convinced of that. So take it and run.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Sure.
I just wanted to say, and yeah, I just wanted to add real quick about first impression. About 17 or 18 years ago, I worked for another MLM, and I just got to say, in the sense of Plexus, they are just over the top with, I think, how they spoil us. I mean, I was just so impressed. That was probably one of my biggest takeaways of that whole thing, of how much they spoil us. And yeah, I wasn't at the black tie event, which I will be, but I wasn't this year. And that they do that, the dessert receptions, the VIP reception, Kelly Clarkson, I mean, just all that, I just sat there like, I don't ever remember anything like this before. So that just really, really impressed me, that they went out of their way to spoil us. So that's all I had left to say.
I love that.
Okay. Thank you all for joining us, and let's get to work. I love what Amy said about creating half-hour Zooms, so look for some of those from your leaders. And if you don't see them, then make them yourself, and let's get moving. Okay, have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Shelly.
Yep, see ya.
Yeah.
Great.
Night.